Hey everybody, this is Dust for Dust.on Gaming here, after a day off or so. So, back to playing some standard decks. Was hoping to get to some modern stuff, but due to time constraints tonight, only really have time to get to a standard deck. So, going to be playing, in addition to the Pro Tour, there was a Pro Tour qualifier on Magic Online this past weekend that had some very different results from the PT itself. There was a lot of green-black snake, there was some control decks, there was some blue-black mid-range decks, which we'll probably get to one of the blue-black mid-range decks, either Kevin Jones's list or one of the ones that did well in the PTQ. But one of the lists that caught my eye was a blue-white God-Pharoh's Gift refurbished deck. So this one's a little different than some of the lists we've been seeing. This is a list that's popped up here and there before. It's kind of a more controlling element. You're trying to get refurbish into the grave, or God-Pharoh's Gift into the graveyard and refurbishing it back, rather than using Gates of the Afterlife. So you're a little bit more dig heavy. You have things like Chart a Course, Strategic Planning, Champion of Wits to dig for your God-Pharoh's Gift to put it in the graveyard, and then using Refurbish to bring it back. So you don't necessarily have to have as high a creature density in this version of the deck. You're a little more capable of playing a fairer game, so to speak, but you also have this refurbished package going on. Beyond that, I mean, you have a little bit of mill elements with Minister of Inquiries in addition to the various looting and sifting effects. You have Search for Canta to find your refurbishing God-Pharoh's Gift. You have Sunscour's Champion to kind of gain you a little bit of life, and it's pretty decent against the aggro decks. Angel of Invention being your big payoff here. You get to bring one of these back with God-Pharoh's Gift. A 6/6 or a 6/5 life-linking, hasty, vigilant creature can be very difficult for even the red decks to deal with unless they have Unlicensed Disintegration on the spot, or if they have a Braid for God-Pharoh's Gift, and then a 1-of copy of Fumigate, and then a random 1-of Teferi the list was running. Your land-based, typical blue-white stuff. You have a couple of Ipnu Rivulets to get more stuff in your graveyard. Beyond that, sideboard, you have Jace's Defeat negates for control decks, which are probably among your worst matchups in terms of resolving your actual threats. Another Fumigate for matchups where you need more, and Settle the Wreckage for matchups you need more sweepers. Invoke the Divine for when your opponent has artifacts or enchantments, primarily artifacts like Card of Kirin, etc. Angel of Sanctions when you need another Oblivion Ring-esque effect and also a creature to go with it. Ixalan's Binding when you need to shut down a specific card. Seal Away for a little bit more creature removal. Fragmentize also goes with Invoke Divine. And Authority of the Council is to slow down those pesky red decks. So, that being said, we're going to hop into a couple two-man queues tonight. Get a little bit of a feel for the deck, see how it goes. Still hoping to go to Pittsburgh, but so far it's not looking very good on the work end of things. But I'm going to continue prepping until such time as I know I'm not going, and even then I'll probably still keep playing because I'm doing some blue-white control for F&M, so let's see how this goes. Yep. No lander, pretty easy mulligan. Seems pretty decent if we can get an early God-Pharoh's Gift in the graveyard. Yeah, I think we're in the market for a Minister of Inquiries here. Swamp go. Okay. This isn't quite as combo orientated as some of the blue-red versions, so opponent concedes. Interesting. So we saw Swamp into nothing. Alright, that doesn't tell us a whole lot in terms of what to bring in, what to bring out. I'm just going to go ahead and bring in an Angel of Sanctions over a Sweeper. And then, beyond that, I don't know enough about what's going on from our opponent's deck from Swamp Go. So, here we go. Was a pretty quick concession on our opponent's part, though. Well, this is a bit of a sketcher. How many lands are we running in our deck? So 22 lands. Yeah, we'll try it. If we hit on a land, the search for his Canta can probably dig us to other lands, so might be a bit of a risk, but we might be up against black-red aggro then. Let's get this minister going. If they want to kill it, I'm fine with that. Yeah, looks like we might be up against red-black. Yep, there's a Scrounger. So we're going to get punished for our keep. Yep, Heart of Kiran. Hit for 2 here. 3, sorry. Yep, there's a land. So let's get this search for his Canta going. Small Champion of Wits, strategic planning. An irrigated farmland, which we weren't really interested in. Nope. Alright, so take the Allen and pass here. Yep. Well, still with no plays. No. No. So digging with Champion here, hoping to hit a God-Pharoh's Gift. Nope, Refurbish and Angel Invention. So go ahead and bin those two. There's a decent chance we could be dead here, especially if our opponent has an unlicensed. Yep. Let's see, would we have gotten there? Nope. Alright. Now that we know what we're up against, explains why our opponent scooped so quickly. Probably want the authority. Well, cards do we not? Let's start with what cards we don't want. Teferi's a little slow against them. Might want to settle the wreckage and invoke the divines. Maybe one God-Pharoh's Gift. And maybe refurbish. Like that. This hand's okay, it's not fantastic. Excuse me. What's up, Foz? How you doing? It's going alright. Trying something a little bit different in Standard tonight, so see how this goes. Well, go ahead and tempo our opponent here a little bit. Minister of Inquiries. Huh. Hopefully we'll be able to hit a God-Pharoh's Gift here shortly. Doing well, doing well. How's everything with you? Being able to tempo this stupid Heart of Curon a couple times is quite nice. Angel of Invention isn't bad, but I think Standard's in a fine place. I think Red-Black is very good, but I don't think it's unbeatable. I think the right builds of Control can counter it to a certain degree. I think some of the other stuff going on with Standard's pretty decent. And it rotates in like 3 months, so even if the format degenerates into just Red-Black versus everything else, I think it's not really a huge deal per se. Probably should have played out a land there. It comes down to matchup, I think, and also, like, I think, well, that sucks. Are they gonna name Refurbish with this? Okay, nope. Just our best card to hit with. Interesting. gonna say, they can't name God-Pharaoh's gift, so what are they naming? Then I thought about it and realized that they have a decent name. Yes, like sacrifice to its own ability. Did we hit any actual creatures, though? Strategic planning might get us there, as far as finding a decent creature. Take a champion of wits. Ditch this, ditch that. Start pressuring our opponent. Let's get this game over with. So now our opponent either has to hold up a braid or do nothing all turn. So Shandera. Alright. Yep. Scrounger. So our opponent's just dead, right? If I were to see... See you, Ein of my modern list. If you were to send me a modern list, would I consider trying it? Yeah? I mean, I tried the blue-white, or the mono-white prison deck. I mean... Bring back... Go ahead and kill you here. It's okay, I understand. So opponent's just dead here. Alright. Seems like this deck might be decent against red-black. That might be why they were so hasty to concede there. What type of list is it? Like what deck archetype or pseudo archetype? Search for his Kanta. This hand's a little slow, but we'll definitely keep it. Looks like we're up against a Land of War Elves deck. This could be rough. A Steel Stompy list could be a little difficult to beat. I rewatch them sometimes. Like, it's honestly hard to, like, watch everything all the time. 'Cause we're under quite a bit of pressure here. Like, when you're streaming, like, 10 to 15 hours a week plus working 40 hours a week, it's not always easy to go back and watch like every single video. It's why like when people comment and they leave like, well, you suck at this or you did that, it's like, well, if you actually were to, you know, kind of give me like points of what I need to look for, like play lines, etc. Just my burn list and yeah, I have no problem with that. Yeah, you've told me some of your walking ballista. That's an unnerving one. Yeah, it's always good to like that's part of the reason why I continued streaming even when streaming and recording videos, even when I was, you know, kind of being harassed and, you know, when people were just being people. So, huh. So, walking ballista is going to be quite annoying, I can see. We're just pumping the ballista this turn. Feels like we're just pumping the ballista. Mm-hmm. This is definitely... I think this is the matchup where the extra sweepers are supposed to come in. I'd like to put this in my graveyard. Yes. Alright, land. So... chart a course to try to find... Huh. Well, there's one of the cards we were looking for. Probably bury God-Pharoh's gift. The sky is the sky, the ground is the ground. Oh yeah, no, I completely understand. Should have done this before combat. They let this ability resolve. Wow, they just let the ability resolve. Okay. See if they add more to this board here. Yep. Gearhulk's a scary one. We need to hit an untapped land next turn. Do. No. Alright. So our one of main deck Fumagate is going to 30 plus, working the retail industry, going to grad school for accounting, primarily play modern, been getting back into standard. I like to been sure, I'll flip his Canta here. So 4, 5, 6, 7. Guess we play our 1 of Teferi. Bury this Gear Hulk. So this is my second YouTube channel. My first one I closed up because of too much. I let people bug me too much. And I've been doing this channel for about 10 months to 11 months. So Brontodon. Alright, so we really need to find got refurbished this turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. So what is the most likely way to do that? Four. Start by plussing to Fairy here. That is a refurbish. So bring back God-Pharoh's gift. Actually, 1, 2, 3. Start with a Champion of Wits. Alright, discard that and that. This will allow us to get back the God-Pharoh's gift even when our opponent blows it up here. As far as Magic, I'm primarily an aggro or combo player. I've been playing some forcing myself to play Control to get better at it. I live in Northeast Ohio. I have also lived in the greater Chicagoland area, in one of the northernmost suburbs. I would not do that again unless I get a job in Chicago proper. Also lived in Northwest Ohio. Been to quite a few states in the U.S., mostly the greater Ohio area, PA, New York, Niagara Falls, up into Canada, obviously Indiana, Michigan, West Virginia, Kentucky. I've played in 3 GPs so far, day 2 of them. Both were standard that I day 2'd. Yeah, born and raised in Ohio. Both of my parents are basically from Ohio. My dad was born in Texas, but he was raised here in Ohio. So my opponent still has no good attacks. This feels like a blossoming defense, question mark, or he's going after Teferi. Oh, he's got no cards, so just kind of let this force the Brontodon to pop on the God-Pharoh's gift here. Probably within like 5 miles of where I live now. Actually, I should probably just go ahead plus the ferry here. See what my options are. Chart a course. Another God-Pharaoh's gift. Strategic planning here. How about you? Were you actually raised in PA, or are you from elsewhere? He was born in Amarillo. But like I said, he barely remembers it. His dad was in the service at the time, I believe, so that was part of the reason. I want the Fumagates. Settle, Fumigate. Probably want Angel of Sanctions as well. Teferi is probably not all that great. Most of the enchantment-based stuff I'm not too interested in. So what am I cutting here? Maybe cutting a God-Pharaoh. I don't know if I'm beating them without. Well, let's cut a God-Pharaoh's gift and one Minister of Inquiries. Gotcha. So when did you start playing Magic? So I want to thank everyone for hanging out with Foz and I here tonight. Feel free to join in the chat. Let us know where you're all from, what kind of Magic you enjoy. Playing a little bit of Standard here tonight. Usually play some Modern as well. Kind of hitting Standard hard because I'm still hoping to go to Grand Prix Pittsburgh here in 2.5 weeks. I'll find out when my work schedule for that week comes up. So, is that mainly because of work you ended up in Philadelphia? Opponent is tanking something hard here. Guess we go ahead and keep this hand. It's a little bit on the slow side, but especially when they have Llanowar Elves every team. Excuse me. For a deck that only plays 4 of these, I swear they always have them in their opening hand. J-Layer Ranger. Nissa, Vital Force. Gotcha. This Nissa is going to be quite obnoxious. Wow, they got all the toys. Put that in the graveyard. Alright, well, we're gonna have to chart a course, try to find a land here. Alright, well, we hit a land. So what am I putting in the graveyard here? Yeah, sounds like it. Wowzers, wowzers, wowzers. So... what am I pitching here? Play the Minister to block this turn. Doesn't feel like this is a game that we're going to win. They've just got a lot of pressure going down. So here comes Nissa, so we're going to get really hammered here. Yep. This deck puts a lot of pressure on the board. Wowzers. This is turn 4, and they've already got 4, 9, 13 power swinging this turn. Wow, that's a very impressive showing from their deck. Is there anything to change what we saw there? Not really. I think that was probably their absolute biggest draw, so... it depends on the complexity of the game. Like, that game, I had a few decisions, but honestly, it was just kind of... like, I more lose my train of thought when I'm trying to chat and talk at the same time, more than anything else. Seriously, every game? Well, we might just play a bunch of bricks and die here, so... need to find like a champion of wits or something. Chart a course, huh? I think we need to be more mana efficient, get on the board a little bit this turn. Like, I'm sure as there's more people in chat, it'll be a little bit more difficult, but right now it's just like there's usually only 2 or 3 cheap people chatting tops, so it's not that hard to follow usually. Please don't have Nissa this turn. Of course you have Nissa. Merfolk Trickster. Let's go ahead and chart ourselves a course. Put the invention in the graveyard. Am I strategic playing this turn, or am I trickstering? Normal, budget, or Reanimator Burn? Reanimator Burn looks the most interesting of those particular you just named here. Going to strategic planning, this might be incorrect. Wow. Actually glad I didn't draw those, but we might just be dead. Should have taken the Glacial Fortress, actually, in case we draw Angel of Sanctions. It's a mistake to actually take the whites, not take the white source, because we're not going to have time to fire off both of these before we're just dead. Next turn's probably Trickster plus activate Rivulet. Ported out one of the God-Pharaoh's gifts. So Galta. That's a card. Search for his Kanta. Think we're on the Merfolk Trickster that down, and Grand Prix Pittsburgh 2 years ago, and Grand Prix Cincinnati the year before that. So Grand Prix Cincinnati, I believe 2015 or 2014, whatever year Theros Devotion Standard was. I was on Blue-White Devotion. Ended up going 10. Made day 2 at 7-2, and ended up going 10-5. And Grand Prix Pittsburgh, not last year, but the year before, I was playing blue or white-black control the year when Bant Human Company, mono whites, humans, and can I afford to take 5 here? So good, and tag myself here. Pretty much have to mill a God-Pharaoh's gift here, or we're just dead. Well, we hit the God-Pharaoh's gift. The question is will it be enough? Because Galta has trample. Furbish. Bring this back. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have like a naturalized. Doesn't look like they do. Angel back. Okay. So we've killed Nissa. The big problem is if they swing with Gulta with Hashap Oasis attached, then we're forced to chump Gulta with our Angel. And we don't have a whole lot going on. But on the plus side, that would take their entire turn, and we do have a Chart of Course, so... and an active Rivulet. This is a sorcery ability, yeah, okay. So, this is like this deck's big swing play. If we hit you just swing with Gulta, I'm just taking it. If you have 2 blossoming defenses, I'm dead. That's whatever. Okay, you do not, so. Harvester's annoying, but it's not really the end of the world here. Steel Leaf Champion, also annoying. Start off by charting a course. Yeah. So, going to get that Angel of Sanctions back. Get rid of your Gulta here. I'd like to use this ability. Yes, I would. Is it possible this is actually a good deck? Like, is it actually possible this God-Pharoh's Gift deck is good? Excuse me. Like, our opponent didn't have quite as busted a draw as... Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So... we just beat red-black and, mono-green in back-to-back rounds? 2 of the harder-hitting decks in the format. I think we'll go ahead and play one more match here. So, I want to thank everyone for hanging out tonight. It's a little bit of a later evening stream for me. Won't be not able to do these as much with working a lot of 4 a.m. to 1 shifts at work this week, but you know, I do what I can. Play a lot of standard, a lot of modern here on the channel. If you like what you're seeing, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Helps the channel to grow a little bit. Also, if you like what we're seeing on the videos, please feel free to hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here, feel free to sound off and chat. Foz and I have been doing most of the interacting, but I'm more than welcome to hear from anybody else. Yep, 4 a.m. to 1 p.m. Though, fortunately, tomorrow I'm 6 to 3. So... Mr. Inquiries go. Aw. Start with some strategic planning. Search for Azcanta seems like a card that I'm interested in. Should probably play around Censor here if I can. I don't know what all their deck's doing, but I'm guessing blue-black or Esper Control. I prefer 6-3 from a sleep standpoint, but from having a life standpoint, 4-1 in some ways is better. So, no. So, play this Champion of Wits. It's got, yep, they're blue-black. Either blue-black or, yeah, they're Esper Control. This is going to be a roughin'. This is going to be a roughin'. Nope. We're going to have to try to outvalue my opponent, and that's not easy against an Esper Control deck. Probably just want to keep making land drops, so play this land out, pass. Is this getting contempted? Wow. Used a Vraska's Contempt on a Sunscourge champion. It's interesting. Field of Ruin, are you going to go after my Ipnu Revulet? Refurbish. No, I don't want to put that in the graveyard. Chart a course here. Huh. What am I pitching? AM 6 p.m. Enjoy every other day off. Yeah, I bet. Tapping out for Teferi. God-Pharoh's Gift into your graveyard. Yes. Yes. So, I think this is going to be the best shot we get. I mean, if they have it, they have it. It's a fairly decent chance they have a disallow here. Alright, so we're going to get a whopping Champion of Wits back. I think, is that our only option? Champion of Wits or Minister. Yes, I'm going to draw 4, discard 2. No, that's a hand. What am I pitching here? Other search for Azcanta is 1. Is the island the other one? Go after Teferi here. So their Teferi can't. Tuck our. Sure. Alright, Foz, have a good night, man. Teferi, Teferi. You have a Gear Hulk here. Alright, not much we can do against that, unfortunately. Question is, am I just tucking their Teferi? Good chance Arteferi is just dead here. Vraska's Contempt. Yeah, that's fine. Probably could have just Gear Hulked and killed it, but, you know. Should have activated that during my turn. Oh, well. Because it only has haste. Alright, man. Whenever you got time. Another God-Pharaoh's Gift. There isn't even that much in our graveyard right now, is there? See what all we've got. Champion of Wits. Is this actually going to get hit by a sensor? Syncopate. Fair enough. Kind of hoping you were out of ammo there, but unfortunately you're not. Get rid of that Fumigate. Get rid of that Angel Invention. Past our opponent here. Okay. Another Angel of Invention. Start by charting a course. Seriously, you have another Gear Hulk. Don't think this is going to work, but we can try it. Still get to flashback the spell. So, Champion of Wits here. That in the graveyard, that in the graveyard. Yep, here comes Teferi. It's probably going to tuck the God-Pharaoh's Gift here. Do I have another one in the graveyard right now? I do. Alright, so go ahead and block there. 6/7. Rid of the strategic planning. You got another counterspell, you got another counterspell. I can't really play around that right now. Is your last card a counterspell? Of course it is. Attack that, attack you. I played only in this turn. I did. Alright, so discard that and that. Play champion this turn. Gain some life. Attack with the one champion that can. Leave a couple chump blockers back. I don't know that we're beating a third copy of... Yeah, we're not beating that. It was an interesting game. But, alright, so... This Fumigate out of our deck. Probably want these Invoke the Divines. Want these Jace's Defeats and Negates. Do we really want to Invoke the Divine that much? Maybe not. Probably want the Angel of Sanctions. Probably cut a God-Pharoh's Gift. I don't know if it's new tech. I know the list that I copied. This is one of the lists that went from the PTQ the weekend of the Pro Tour this past weekend. It had these in them, and they've performed particularly well. So even if you're not always able to like get your opponent to attack into them. All right, so what am I cutting here? I think I'm just like shaving random stuff. Shaving that, shaving a refurbish. This is definitely a Teferi matchup. Like, I don't want to shave like too much is the problem. It's like all these cards are fairly reasonable. Like, Sunscourge Champion isn't great, but it's... Theoretically, it would be a threat they have to deal with, but... At the same time... I guess I'd like to play first. Yeah, keep his hand. Seems reasonable. Hold on to this farmlands. We can cycle it later if we need to. So I could chart a course this turn, but I'm going to hold up Negate in case they try to go for Search for Azcanta. Oh, they're missing land drops. That's probably good for us. chart a course here. Okay. Apparently we're going to miss a land drop as well. Pass. Opponent with a bunch of fatal pushes. Now that they've discarded 2 fatal pushes, I guess I'll run out of Minister of Inquiries. Opponent with the strategic planning. Search for his Kanta. At this point, I just start punching in. Next turn, I'm going to play Search for his Kanta with Negate backup. Because if we get a card advantage source going, I don't know if they're beating that. Okay, double Search for his Kanta. Let's do the full-blown shard of course here. Refurbish. I'm kind of regretting we didn't put that angel. It all depends on what the build of God-Pharoh's gift and the. I'd like to put that in the graveyard. No, I want that one in my hand. Sure, I'll flip his Kanta. A lot of it depends on what build of God-Pharoh's gift you're going for. Like, there's the more combo version oriented. Alright, so we got a game against Control. All they had to do is keep a 2-lander and not draw lands. Yeah, chart of course is fine. Like, a lot of it just depends on what you're trying to do. Like, if you're trying to get creatures in the graveyard, you obviously want to play it pre-combat. If you're trying to just accumulate value and get a strictly upgraded divination, you obviously want to attack. I mean, the deck doesn't. This version doesn't run a ton of creatures. You've got the tricksters, the ministers, and the champion of wits in the early turns, really. So, or the trickster. I think the tricksters are just worse than the Sun Scourge champions. Like, the champions aren't great, but they're at least potentially a 2-for-1 if they don't have contempt. Especially as many, Sand's garbage. Sand seems alright. I guess we'll keep Roulette. Okay, so opponent plays nothing. Artsenson running Search for his Kanta out there right now. Yeah, you can cycle your fetid pools all you want, friend. We know they play Syncopate in their list. Not gonna cycle that right now. See, like, this chart, of course, obviously. No, I have not played blue-white favorable flyers yet, so. That is one list I have not played yet, so. I'm gonna go ahead and run this search out. It just resolves. Okay. Do you have a list, Janshovik? I mean, I'll run it sometime. I have no problem trying to run it. Do I counter this Glimmer, or do I just counter the follow-up Teferi that's probably coming? Oh, you're not gonna jam Teferi? That's no fun. It's not a nice opponent. No. I'll keep that chart, of course. Alright, so I got a land here. Gonna bin GFG. Play this land out. Honestly, if I was gonna go that far out of my way to run all those, I honestly think I would probably go with like a Bant build. Like there was one of the league I did with Blue White Historic. I ran up against a Forsake the Worldly. Gotta let that resolve. That means any Gear Hulks they have can flash that back on our God-Pharaoh's gift, which is annoying. The fact that we have no creatures in our graveyard also makes that. Guess we just run out the champion here. Probably get Vraska's Contempted here. Gear Hulk Flashing Black Glimmer. We gotta go for negate on that one. I don't want to, but I can't let my opponent keep accruing advantage like that. We're already so far behind. Yeah, no, I'm not blocking your Gear Hulk, friend. I could see that being reasonable. Maybe a little cute, but reasonable. What am I pitching here? Next turn we'll activate. Next turn we'll activate Rivulets. Four, five, six. So my question is this game's obviously not getting any better for us, so I just gotta go for Refurbish this turn and hope it sticks. counterspell is probably not going to be good enough here. Double disallow. Nope, we're not beating that. Control probably is the worst matchup for this deck, would be my guess. Discard that. Let's run out Minister of Inquiries here. I think we only have, what? Do we board out a Refurbish? We did, so we only have like one left in our deck. Oh, it was definitely reasonable, but I should have counted on my opponent having like a billion counterspells in hand. Yeah, this is Teferi game over, pretty much. It's not a bad draw. We'll try to resolve that. This is probably just going to get countered. Gear Hulk. Yep. Another Gear Hulk. That's just game. I haven't gotten around to the second list, but mainly because the archetype has kind of faded away. Whenever I wrote that originally, it was kind of a description like 3 weeks ago, and what ended up happening is when the historic list popped up, there was the like Heart of Curon, Merfolk Trickster, like kind of flashy aggro with like a bunch of planeswalkers. You had like History of Benalia, you had Trickster, you had Heart of Curon, you had Karn Teferi, and your upper end of your curve was Lyra. And then there was also a version, they split into two. The second version was the one that I actually covered, which was like the Walking Ballista Lyra Gear Hulk version that was a little bit more flash based and a little bit more controlling. Like they had some number of copies of Settle the Wreckage, a copy or two of Commit to Memory. One was trying to get on the board a little bit earlier with Heart of Curon into Benalia into the Planeswalkers. The other one was trying to leverage a little bit higher curve with things like Lyra, Gear Hulk, plus the Planeswalkers, and did not necessarily run Trickster and Heart of Curon. So that was the main difference between the two that kind of started popping up. Then you had the Esper version that eventually evolved into the Esper History of Benalia decks that popped up at the Pro Tour that didn't do particularly well. And now the attempts to do a lot of the blue-white historic has just morphed back into the blue-black mid-range decks that did well last right before Dominaria came out. They were being pushed by the likes of Matthew Folks and a few others. Yeah, it was only They only popped up like for like maybe like 5 to 7 days. Um, the list just faded away very quickly. Um, so that's kind of what ended up happening. And now that the format's gone a little bit further, we've gotten to the point where it's basically black red, the two variants, the green variant Stompy deck Snake, and Esper Control, and then the problem with the Flash deck is it's perfectly fine, don't get me wrong, but the problem with the Flash deck, from the little bit I played of it, you're a dog to control game one, and you can definitely improve that matchup, but you're caught in between the no man's land of you have to have enough cards to beat red black, and the red black has the ability to answer your Lyras and your Shalais with more efficient removal, like unlicensed disintegration and that kind of stuff. So you're pressured from that end, and then you're also pressured from the control end of things, especially when control went from blue-white to Esper. The ability to play Vraska's Contempt and the counter spells really kind of pushed the deck. So I'm not saying it can't still be good, but it's being pushed from two different directions, and then you throw in Snake and Stompy, which can both just overpower the deck, and that's why the History of Benalia decks have not been doing particularly good. It's just the card History of Benalia, as the format shaken up, has not been particularly good. A 2/2 does not line up well against Scrap Heap Scroungers coming back, against the Goblin Chain Whirlers, against Phoenixes. It also doesn't line up well against turn 2 Steel Leaf Champions and turn 3 4/3 Jade Light Rangers. So, but the thing you have to remember about the History of Benalia deck is the vast majority of History of Benalia is from Dominaria itself. Like the Knights, the Angels, and a good bit of the removal are going to survive rotation. So there's a good chance that the History of Benalia decks will be one of the top dogs once rotation occurs, because Control is losing a good bit of its tools, and Mono Red and Red Black are losing a lot of their tools. So Steel Leaf Stompy and the Benalia decks might be the decks that survive by process of elimination to become the top tier. Obviously, depending on what's on M19 and then the Ravnica block. So it's kind of why. I mean, the deck is very powerful, but I don't know. I lost to, what did I lose to when I played with it? I lost to a Bant Angels list and something else. I don't remember. The deck was fun. I mean, it's just the cards that I own. Mainly the reason I stuck to Control is the cards I own in paper are the Control list. I own most of the pieces of Blue, White, and Esper Control. So for me to go out and get the extra Benalias, the third Lyra, the Shalais, the Heart of Kirons, or whatever other, I don't own Karns. So it's just like, kind of ended up being why I focused on Control more than Historic. But that's basically what happened with Historic in a nutshell. Is it's kind of more, I mean, there's still some blue-white flash lists around, don't get me wrong there, but they're more like blue-white, they're more like the blue-white mid-range deck. A lot of them don't even play, the one that gives everything flash now. It's just kind of morphed into a blue-white mid-range deck. And honestly, if I was playing blue-white mid-range, I'd be wanting to play like Servant in the Conduit or something to like accelerate my Angels faster. Because, like turn 3 Shalai, turn 4 Lyra, or turn 3 Shalai, turn 4 Teferi, or turn 3 Karn, or, all those, that extra turn of speed, and then Shalai gives you a pump with your extra mana. I was actually very impressed by the Bant Angels list. I just haven't gone back and reconstructed it from the video that I played against them. But obviously when you work full time, you only have so much time to... Ketra's Monument. I don't recall what... I don't really remember what Oketra's Monument does. Oketra. Oh, the white one? I don't think they play enough, I don't think they play enough actual creatures. I think the last deck that tried to take advantage of the Oketra's Monument deck was Vampires before they got the black cards that pushed the lore that's white and black, etc. I think they were the last deck that tried to push Oketra's Monument. But I mean, it could certainly be worth a try, but that's a lot of deck building time and space that I don't really have right now, unfortunately, getting ready for a GP. But I mean, you could come up with lists, Jankovic. I mean, I think the white-black version's better, and even that's not seeing play in Standard, so I think that's another list that you could see pop up once rotation happens. Like, I play a lot of white-black Vampires on Arena, so, and it seems to be a pretty decent... Well, Monument, yeah, I'm just talking Vampire Tribal will survive for the most part. Loses, like, the deserts, and that's about it. So, alright, well... I want to thank everyone for hanging out tonight. Jankovic, if you have any lists you want me to try out, I mean, I'm more than willing to give like almost any standard or modern list a try. Feel free to email it to me. The description, it's in the description down below, but it's mtgotavern@gmail.com. Or if anybody has any more like detailed questions they want me to try to answer for them, I'm more than willing to email you back, with a little bit more detailed of an explanation. As far as the God-Pharoh's Gift deck, it seems like Red-Black's a pretty good matchup for this style of deck. You have a lot of controlling elements, a lot of chump blockers, trade with their guys. Then you have the over-the-top of Angel of Invention coming back as a 6/5 and just like dwarfing anything their deck can do. I think the one of Teferi might be too cute, but it was effective in a couple spots. That rally against Mono Green Stompy, where we hit Angel of Invention and the Angel of Sanctions, dealt with a Nissa, a turn 3 Nissa, and dealt with a turn 4 Galta. Pretty freaking insane. And obviously the control matchups are just generally abysmal for the God-Pharoh's Gift lists, so it's kind of like what flavor, how do you want to play the field? Like, do you want to play the God-Pharoh's Gift list that can transform into mono red against control, or do you want to play the kind of controlling God-Pharoh's Gift deck that is pretty good against all of the aggro decks and struggles against the control matchup? Pretty much what it boils down to. So, I want to thank everyone for hanging out tonight. This is your first time hanging out on the channel, please consider subscribing. I'm streaming probably 4 to 5 times a day, various different times on my days I'm working, so it gets better post-board, but I don't think it's a good matchup, because they're pretty heavily favored in Game 1, and particularly this version of the deck doesn't run threatening enough creatures earlier on. Oh, that's cool, Jankovic. Where from? So it's gotta be 2, 3 in the morning there. Depending on 4 or 5 in the morning, depending on Yeah, I actually do. Oh wow, that's cool. So it's what, like 5 a.m. there? 4 a.m. 4 or 5 a.m. But I do streaming sometimes on my days off at 4 or 5 in the morning local times. That'd be like 9 or 10 a.m. your time. So, I mean, yeah, it'd be great if you wanted to hang out again when we're doing some of the other streams. Like sometimes I stream earlier, so it'd be earlier your time. So, like on my days off, I usually stream in the mornings, but those that'll be like Sunday and Monday coming up. So, you want to hang out, play some of your lists, that'd be great. But I gotta get going here. I gotta grab a shower and get to bed for work in the morning. So, I want to thank everyone for hanging out tonight. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please consider subscribing. If you like what you saw, please hit the thumbs up. And if you have any comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Or if you have any more detailed comments about Standard or any decks in particular, feel free to email me at mtgotavern@gmail.com. Just want to thank everyone for hanging out. It's been great. Jankovic, it's been pretty awesome. Foz, whenever you see this later, hope you're having fun, man. Hope everything's going well. And everyone else, I will talk to you later.